Hello. Tuesday, the 13th of August, 2019, by these crazy alleged timepieces and calendars. What? GMT 12:50. How are we doing? Family update. Maybe a quick brew. Anybody there? We're on. I'll wait, see if any scribes drop in, and then we'll have a chat. Hit me up, tell me how you are, who you are, what you are, when you are, how you are. This one. The sun is shining. The weather is sweet. Attending to all of the messages, emails, locked out of my emails temporarily. I'm going to fix that shortly. Nothing massive. Just account updates to do, site updates. So I'm doing that, checking on emails, notifications today. Throughout the course of the week, I will make sure that we're up to date, we're up to speed before I endeavour to cross Europe and take Anna to see her mum. So the update is, if you would like to search YouTube for a man called Daniel, good luck to you. There are many thousands of them. There was a particular man called Daniel that I'm watching, and he's got influences of which I looked at some time ago, articulating around a Christian remedy at law. The basic premise of what I have been saying and what we have recognised with our research and discovery is this. When I brought out the video De Jure Sovereignty, I intended on talking about King Hammurabi and the Babylonian codes and the great times of Babylon and pre-Christianity gnosis, and I was angling at developing where the Roman style current civil secular coded law system come from today, and I wanted to talk about King Hammurabi in great detail, of which we will do, which was pre-Christian gnosis. So we have studied the Bible and all of the books in depth, and we've looked at the systems and the languages, and yes, we have various possible remedies for the unbonding of man. And when we say unbonding, what is it that's bonded? How is it bonded? Who's bonded what? Is that really the case? Is it hearsay, conjecture? Is it just waffle? Take a note of the Magna Carta thumbnail. I have, looked at the papal bull annulling Magna Carta in 1213 and posted stuff on that. So that would be looking like some kind of a contract, or as I said, a trust, way back when we analysed this agreement and the subsequent applied usage of habeas corpus and certain writs that we would look at using conventional old English, Middle English laws going back hundreds of years, and how that was done. So when I have had a chat with David Robinson, and I've had a chat with the various mans of the lawful constitution arena and the surrounding articulation and an exploratory development for such things as the Bradbury Pound, when we're effectively all walking central banks, your true gnosis there. So the Christian remedy in law is, as we've said, souls, spirits, consciousnesses, and man's will, thy will, do as thy will. You have a certification there when you are a baby, and you are not legally responsible, so therefore you would be classified as civilly dead. Now, civilly dead would also be classed as being private, so I would like to just update you, if you've got nothing for me, on while I'm waiting on appointments and have a little bit of free time this week in between what I'm scheduled to do, I'd like to just give you a bounce back of the de jure sovereignty and why I would put that down as that, because we are getting to the bottom line now. You are we still at war? Every day is asked, yes. Are we still at war? Why is that asked? What is the war? Bankruptcy, states of emergency, administrators in office, not-for-profit, offices everywhere, trustees, principal, agents, all operating on codes and in a military state of. So if you have realised, much like us, that there is indemnification when you are not of legal age, when you are a daughter or a son, you are a wee baby. Okay, events are registered, not people. That's a massive one there, other than Sister K and Sister KV being two separate things entirely and needing to be separated and looked at. The basic premise is what I've said is it shouldn't cost thousands of pounds for man to unbond. It shouldn't cost intellectual research of up to 10 years for man to be able to unbond. So without telling you, because I haven't got it yet, how to communicate with the correct office of higher government on how to do that, we are working on that every day, as well as the agent officer interaction, as well as doing everything we need to do, and checking up and doing casts and so forth. So just that always, every day, we think about the remedy and how to get out of this battle, to surrender your ship, all right, and to get on into a nice bunkered in, let me think, habitual residence, indigenous man on dry land, bunkered into a mountain somewhere, as opposed to being on a ship as a citizen out there. So do you get the fact that there are two certifications and there is a registration? The registration is done by informants. It's a clearly informing of an event, all right? You are not a volunteer at that point. This is key now. Equity does not aid a volunteer for your equitable remedy. Oh. I'd just like to say 9 times out of 10 when I'm making a video, G-Star will call. I've just sent him a message. We're going to chat. I've got a lot to do. So equity does not aid a volunteer. So you're not a volunteer. You don't know at the point of registration of that event by your mums and dad that are informing with the General Registry Bondsman what is going off. You have no idea, no clue. You are an unarmed, sovereign, self-governing, child, son or daughter, asset, and you're going through a procedure. So we're looking at this again. It would be called the Christian remedy in law. There's a man called Daniel. He's done a lot of videos. It's not my work. It's just re-looking at. Before we consider spending thousands of pounds or taking a trip which is hundreds of miles and costing hundreds of pounds to make an appointment with a master to go down and argue something of which is a bit speculatory still. We have argumentation, we have substances, and we have things printed on .gov UK's, but we don't actually have 100% the bare bones of it. But you need to rejoin the tree of what? The many trees, but the tree of knowledge, the tree of life. You see, when you get to 18, you relinquish that protection of the civil area, civilly dead, and you become civilly active. Civilly active is taking the SIN number, social insurance number, the national insurance number for Anglo, social security number, SSN now. It was an SIN, and you've got the tax identification number, the TIN over here as well. So that's the legal military combatant insurgent, all's fair in love and war, okay, Admiralty commercial combatants that are using the certification of the instrument and so forth, the certificate of birth and the two certificates, the state of play, the protection there, leaving that protection, arming yourself and going into battle. Yes, it's just getting looked at there, so forgive me while I look at various places and offices and principals and mini-stars and etc. that we could let know that we would like to no longer consider being in battle because my conscience, I'm born unarmed. I seem to have picked up some arms somewhere, armed to the back teeth, and I'd like to forget that and think that, I've picked up some property, may have claimed it, taken it, it was not mine, I'd like to give it back. It's all written down for you to have a look at there. So, and that's where we're at, and that's why Smithy and all of the chats and the biblical passages that we've brought to you and put down and referenced, it's there, we've articulated it, various testaments, testamentary introductions from the old book, the new book, the KJV, and the court system itself, the church system, the church and the state. Couldn't have laid it down any more prolifically and specifically than this. If you're not a Christian, it doesn't matter. I have left and gone back and got confused and left and gone back, been a Buddhist, gone here. This is what it's all about. It's a journey, all right? You are exploring, you're changing. I'm not giving you any advice. I'm not taking you down the road of religion. I'm taking you down the road of knowing thyself, redemption, and with your conscious and your spirit and your soul, the three there, how you present, whom you present, and why you present. So there is articulation there, and methods and instruments and positions and legal titles and etc., of which we can now perform and say, equity doesn't aid a volunteer. Well, I didn't volunteer into this. I was put into this by my unwitting parents who registered in the event. So we are very, very close, all right? And there's no need to rush, and there's no need to go around shouting about everything in fine detail. I've summarised a lot there. I haven't given you everything. Some food to think of where we're at. We are looking, I've done the test with Steve on scenario 1 of 2 for your officer-agent interaction. It's getting ready. It should be a couple of weeks, and we'll be ready to give that away for free and let that flood out into the land masses and communities there. With regards to how we'd like you to consider operating, and we have an online quiz test now, a grading system that will allow you to get to the level and the competence of where you ought to be, where you should be from 18 onwards, when you become civilly active, from becoming civilly dead, going from the private into the public. You should be forewarned, forearmed, and you should know about all of this, much like the esquires of the land do. But anything lower than an esquire, as the subjects of, you don't get to know. You are not needed to know, and if you know, then you've done rather well to find out. The have-nots shall not have, and we are meant to be have-nots. So not my words, just the way they put it. So we're very, very close. I have a lot of areas to look at, a lot of things to do, a lot of people to chat to, mans to chat to. I'm doing very well there. All systems are good. If you have got an issue, a problem, you're upset, you're happy, you want to chat, something to offer, any reason, you would email me, david@splspro.com. There is a splspro.com Facebook entity, of which is there to promote and advertise for us and our publications, and to use as a portal to promote the work, the publications, the media that we do, the training and the cognizance that we want to give away for free to all of the family on all of the realms, on all of the continents. So yeah, we'll use that still and continue to flood the markets there as they are our markets, and they're there to be flooded. These dry docked vessels that we have on land acting as courts, they are civil participation courts. Civil participation, not criminal. Lower de facto, non de jure, de facto of facts. Rely on facts, all right? Their facts are presented before them. That's the key there. Doesn't mean that they operate on the clear facts and give you justice. It means that they operate in a codified secular system, of which is the governments, the UKGs and the Temple BAR of London. I posted a video on the .com and on Facebook saying are all BAM and Attorney Generals something. I hope you've seen that and looked at it. There's a lot of information in there. That's by the channel, I forget the channel, Sovereign something. Again, everything's out there that we bring to you and that we source, reference, citate. All we're good at and proficient in is looking and filtering and collecting and presenting and letting you know. We want you to go off and look at your own areas, bring to us, argue, articulate, examine, and test us and ask us. I don't want you to say, yes, Dave, because it's not yes, David. It's, are you sure, David? What are you doing, David? Think you made a mistake? Carry on. We are not to be looked at as experts or masters of any kind above you. We are the same level and equal. I will not come out on YouTube and procrastinate everything in public. You need to know this. You will only find the key information via email or .com, because I see the danger and the limitation of the public interface and the trills and others that are watching, that are allowing channels and accounts to be made open and left open to be monitoring. We are in a good area, clean hands, clear conscience. That you get one shot at this, you know, and it needs to be a clear, good shot, a bit like a sniper, you know. Take away the do the mathematics of 2019 at minus 1302. It's a long time, all right, since we've had to work this out. So forgive us for a little bit of a check before we go in for the final showdown. And you know, we communicate with higher powers that be, let them know that the battle is over. War with the K, worship, and so forth. The ships, the battles, the invasion. There's a way for you to peacefully, intelligently, articulately, concisely, effectively, using Christ to some extent, and get out of it unarmed, conscientious objector, non-combatant. You was, you know, put in this by a series of events, and then we've gone off unknowingly, deceptively, not informed, non-disclosure, all of that, and we've gone off and now we've found out. So here we are. All right, very, very great position to say that we are going to publish officer agent interaction for the key competence foundation, you know, level. That's your bronze. We've got a silver and a gold to come, but the bronze level is almost finished, with the key areas of which we'd like to give to you for free, like I say, which is the key competence. But the key competence is giving you the key to have the competence later on to articulate, formulate, defend, and continue to work, if you so choose, with us and educate further on to the levels of which you could be considered to be barrister, which is equivalent to be surpassing barrister, because like the Inns of Court, I've referenced the Inns of Court when they wrote in the lady from Canada, I think, who wasn't in law, and she went to a court, she wanted a case to be heard, a claim. The women wasn't written in law. The Inns of London courts had to look at writing in the lady, females, woman, into law. Inns looks like to me and others Vatican controlled. All right, if you don't know what the Inns is and you didn't know who Hammurabi was, we are trying to layer this and give the ones that are advanced and strong something to chew into and go forward with while you're waiting for the rest of the curvature to be expressed and the coursework to come out. So we see, we hear, we're aware, and we're very busy. I just wanted to do a quick update in between calls, appointments, jobs, administration, etc. So the sun is out, the skies are blue. Sending my love from me to you. Update is done. See you on the .com, emails, Facebook at some point, YouTube. We need to have a hangout about how we're going to do hangouts in future. That'll just be me and you. So we'll have a video cast, all right? All of the tech heads and ones that have ideas about how we should proceed and what other channels are doing, what they're using, and the benefits and cons of that we'll discuss. We've got some articulate videos to make, short and concise, 5 to 15 minute ones to accompany these publications that will be narrated. You'll have a PDF, a Word document, a PowerPoint, and a video with narrations that will be on SPLS space PRO on YouTube. If you haven't found SPLS Pro on YouTube, I suggest you you go and look at that channel, subscribe, add, and I will be expanding the playlists over the next couple of months in between now and looking at whom to communicate with in government to let them know we want out of the army. We're going to put the arms down, we're going back to being unarmed. We're going to go to the private, which is effectively civilly dead, not civilly active. Please see the video, De Jure Sovereignty. It's the only way I can put this now. We're getting to the end of the road. Once we get to the end of the road, what are you finding? You're finding that we are meeting the child self again. We're going back to the protective area. We're realising the full circle of where we've been after the age of 21. You know, that was the last calling of and the time to go before we proceeded with the full commercial warfare of where we're at. It's not pretty, it's not nice. It's not our doing, not our systems. We didn't make this. We're just telling you one of the pathways of which we've seen that we're all involved in, we're all engaged with. You know, you're engaged in, and we will try to disengage you, de-enforce the enforcement under the covenant. Remember, it's a Christian continent, it's a Christian monarchy nation. All right, not everybody's Christian. We recognise that. I have renounced my Christianity and said, I'm a man of faith, I'm not a religious man. I still carry that. I am a man of faith. So I'm a confused man because the books they've given us in historical content is lies and bullshit. All right. The Bible is a story. It's an event. The crucifixion, Jesus was an event. Your registration is an event. When Jesus was crucified, he had naffle to leave behind. All right. He leaves the apostles, disciples. He leaves them his peace. All right. Think about that. Think about that. That's come from a channel, not me. Words of all coming together. This is what we need to keep doing. Cross-pollination and alchemy of this area. Very, very serious area. Very, very technical. Very, very flooded. Should be a simple way out. Shouldn't cost any man thousands of pounds. It shouldn't involve a specific trip to London. It shouldn't involve a chancery court with a master there. That's not what a common man should be able to do to get himself out of sin and back under with the Creator in the Christian country. So believe me, I have been confused. You've seen it. It's here on video. I've only been confused because what the literature and guidance and gnosis man's been given is misleading and deceptive. And to some extent, they've changed the words. And when you change the words, you will pay for that. So it's not just that we're simple and we can't follow the line. No, we was heavily misguided, heavily diverted. We've brought that to you. So forgive me while I just step back and say, I continue with the faith and the love and the soul, the spirit, the consciousness, the tripart is willing to continue to carry on the work and give you the update, tell you we're very close. We are very close. Well done to those that try to divert and try to overcomplicate and come along with ideas of grandeur and lots of money. In practicality, these are called barriers, all right? We know in our heart what should be done, what needs to be done, how it should be done, but whom, what, why, when and where are the 5 key points that they've taken a great many hundreds of years to saturate with thousands of potential options. And here we are. So much love, thank you. All is well as far as I know. All systems are running. To the user that said, to the self-initiate and scribe that said, David, the site was maybe down the other day. I tried to log on and it wasn't there. Periodically, we do site maintenance and updates and plugin updates and so forth. So you will find that when you try to log in, it will say, unable to access, or if you look it will say site maintenance, and if it doesn't, I've asked G to start to make sure it does say site maintenance. So to that user, you was correct. I asked G, he had done some updates that day. So if you just try a few minutes afterwards, you will find that you've tried to log in when we're doing site maintenance, site updates, etc., and you won't be able to log in. It should say what we're doing and why, and it's temporarily. I've asked G to check, and all is well. We are good. We are strong. I'm excited. We've got a couple of weeks to relax with Anne-Marie. We're going to go to Croatia. We're going to go from here. So we'll start here. The location of East Midlands to the port. From the port, Dover to Dunkirk, something like France, Belgium, Germany, Austria and Hungary. Once we're there, where we're at Hungary and Marie's mother's residents, and we've got Serbia, Croatia, Bosnia, Germany, Poland, all around the Balkans and whatnot. So I will be going travelling with our Queen. That will be nice to go live and give you some video and some more scenery and the travels out there of whatever we find. I will be working on the .com, the coursework, the key competence, and finishing that off when I come back for the end of August. Everybody will have been contacted, updated, informed, and everything will be in place. And then we will also be continuing on with the claim of life with regards to obtaining, exiting, and being able again to get out of Babylon, get out of my people, books and chapters here, sharing in sins and so forth. That is, the war, the warfare, the public, the EU, everything, in our opinion. And there is a time, there is a limit. You don't have to follow this. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. We don't like it. We didn't agree with it, and we've only just started to follow it. So please bear with us while we examine and extrapolate all of the possible remedies to the man of England. But we're not just England, we're Anglo, we're British, we are Ik. Let me think, the Amorites, the Hittites, the Israelites, the Ites, the Anglo-ites, Britites, so we've got a long way. It's been very confusing. We understand that this is a remedy for the world, for every continent. We're not just focusing on David and the English. We are focusing on the all continent, all the world, all Australia and America. This is something which you should be able to do because we are all connected. It is their systems that are not connected. We don't recognize borders. We don't recognize the customs, customs and practices of man. Let's go to the airport. Customs. Halt. Stop. Papers. You're at customs now. What do you mean customs? Customs all about, so their policy, their procedure, their supersession of the language, of the phonics, of the math, of the science. We've been invaded. They live in London. The Queen has to ask permission to go there. She walks with her head down, etc. It's relevant and real, all right? The hangover is on. I'm sorry, but we're all waking up from a massive party. It's New Year's Day, in the beginning of the new age, of the new dawn, of the golden age. I'll give you golden age, Boris and Donald with your golden hair. It's as close as what they can get to the golden age, okay? So when man works this out, and you see and you hear and you follow and you use your will, and we find this appropriate place, let me tell you now, the floodgates will be open, and the water will be going off the land back into the sea. When I say floodgates, we're opening it, and they're going the other way. Off with the water and on with the sunshine, all right? So I hope you're feeling it. If you wasn't happy and energized and energetic and looking forward to things of such, then there you go. If you haven't seen Does Your Sovereignty, there's more. It's not all my words. It's from the internet. It's from many years of research. If you like what you hear and you think you fit that little description, then it just turns out then you've just joined our family. If you're a new subscriber and you're confused, we understand. We have stuff to help you, and we will take great pleasure in saying hello, thank you, welcome, much love, namaste. As I'm not going to go on anymore, there's too many. I need to go. I'm wasting time. I've already been here, I don't know how long. It's been a pleasure, lovely. We're going to say what's up, what go on to. As always, Alegna, Clint, Molly, new scribe, thank you, or newish. Share if you care. Dazzy, Funk Star. Daniel, another one, new, hello there, hello, potential. You've got a lot to catch up with, Daniel of the Shad clan, but thank you. We'll be on a ship indeed. He's a bit grey, isn't he, brother? The two keys, no notification again, blessing. Yes, Eric, we find that, mate. I've been on 3,300 for nearly a year. I think I'm just about to break the 300 mark of the 3,300, so tell me about it. Google have done us a favour with the Hangouts, and we will be looking at our own networks and so forth. We're still using the word verb. Quinn, hello, another news. That's 3 scribes of new that I've seen. So it looks like things are happening and we are expanding. I'm happy to see. Notice, read my comment. Notice is capitals. That's sign language. I am not forced to read sign language when you use all caps, dogma, glossa, Latin. Quinn's new, everybody. We'll let her or him renew their free knowledge with us and the channel and what we do. But part is not equal par. Nice one, John. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Indeed it is. Agreed. Sustain, Funk. All right, John. Wow, thank you, John. Lots. So is Christmas, Christ, Mass. Indeed, we got a mass of Christ-like consciousness coming. The true Christmas and Christ Mass. Indeed, ex-Mass, Mass in general there. Yes, Christos oil, we get in there. You've heard Santos, you've seen the 33, the vertebrae, the Kundalini, the consciousness, the surprise of it all, the serpent rising. Yes, Quinn. Oh, thank you, Quinn. Oh, right, so modifiers, no fine. Yeah, it's all conjecture. It's all food for thought. That's all I'm giving you. I'm not telling you to anything. I'm telling you what my research and due diligence and the books and the areas are saying and why we're looking at that. And if you've got anything other, now would be the time to mention it. Hi, Clint and Kevin. Yes, yes, yes. Kevin, we'll catch up soon. 3,386 scribes apparently, and it's been like that. The 3,300. If any of you are acute enough, you will notice that we're in August 19 now, and I think in February 18 it was also 3,300. It's been like that for a long, long time. I don't know if it's true. I'm not really asked about that because we will be building and looking at our own video castings. We are looking at other media outlets, and we have the .com. Much love, universe. Keep kicking arse for us, and know that we are very close. You got out for us. You know where to knock. You know where we live. splspro.com. David at splspro.com. Andy and Kevin's emails aren't on. We haven't sorted them out. They are in between areas. Kevin's taking time out. Andy is working very close with his community and what he needs to do privately. You'll hear from him and see him soon, hopefully, on a hangout, if not on the end of a telephone. And I'll get Kevin and Andy on telephones and we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Have a call in. Wow. Oh dear. And we'll sort it out. So I've touched base with Josh. I've neglected the fam somewhat since my mum, Greece, coming back. A few issues to sort out, a lot of private stuff, sending V5s back to the DVLA, communicating with the land registry, writing the agent officer interaction, and sorting out everything else. So forgive me, you know, it is a priority. There's a lot going off. No one's ignored. Everyone's loved. You're all valued and wanted, and we're kicking arse. We really are. So forgive us while we just put the brakes on, stop the steam train. It's an unstoppable steam train that's you know, it's on a new form of propulsion here. We're on the magnets and ice, and we are hovering, speeding through at new supersonic speeds. But speed isn't everything, all right? It's your accuracy and your aim, quality, not quantity. The quality is vastly improved. The quantity is massively flooded through 30,000 derivatives of Christianity. I hope you've picked the right one. You know what? It's not fair. What kind of a world is that? You know, the codified law system that we look at. You know, if you look at the bar attorneys and the courts and so forth, they have a ruling, they have a system there. I won't tell you what it is now. Similar to corpus juris and things, yes. And it's written in there, the codified systems, and there's 150 books you can look at. They tell you these kind of rules and laws and oaths and positions, and oh wow, dirty. So yeah, forgive us and thank us. Thank you. Much love. Tube, the .com and the Facebook scribes. Love you all, and I've got to go now. Ring G and continue on, and we will see you soon. All right. Ciao bello. Bosh. Much love. And stay self-governing, independent, not at war, and loving if that's possible.